everyone, I'm Adelaide and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you guys another villager ranking video. You all were so involved in the comment section of the last one where I did all the cat villagers, so today I thought I'd bring you another video where I review all 16 of the cub villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Our first cub villager is Barold. He is a lazy cub and I just don't like him at all. I hate that he's the first villager on the list because he's just so bad. His mouth reminds me of those pool floaties, like the inner tubes that you sit on. And he just looks like he doesn't respect women, so I'm going to toss him down in F tier where he belongs. Next, we have Bluebear, the peppy cub. Her initial catchphrase is Peach, which is so adorable. And I absolutely love her bright blue coloration, and I love that her feet gradient down to white, and she has these beautiful blushy cheeks, so she's going to belong right in the A tier. Here we have Cherry, another peppy cub. I love that her design is based off of the fruit cherry. I think that adds so much to her design concept and I think she turned out so sweet. I also adore that she has a winged eyeliner moment going on. It makes her eyes look so big and bright, so I'm going to put her in the A tier. This is Chester, the lazy cub. He is supposed to be based off of a panda, which is very apparent from his dark facial features as well as the rings around his eyes. I have to say that this villager has a really special place in my heart because I really love the villagers that have extremely unique design concepts, and I think that his facial features, like with the blushy cheeks and his eyes as well as his exaggerated mouth, really make him a special villager, so I'm going to put him in the A tier. Our next villager is Judy, the snooty cub. Her name's origin is based around the actress Judy Garland, who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, which I think is so sweet. I also love that she's wearing the fairy tale dress. It really accentuates that she's supposed to be this cute, sparkly, beautiful villager. I know some people are a little weirded out by her eyes because they're just giant sparkles and they do kind of look like windows now that I'm looking at her, but I honestly think her gradient and ombre colors on her face as well as her entire body really make her a striking villager, so I'm going to put her as my first S tier villager. Here we have June, the normal cub. Her birthday is actually in May and not in June like her name would suggest, and I think that's absolutely hilarious and adds to her character. However, I do think that she looks like the Walmart version of Peko. Like, her design is very simplified and not very interesting to me, so I'm going to put her in C tier. This is Cody, the jock cub. Honestly, from first glance, I would have pinned him as a lazy villager just because of his eye design gives me that lazy villager vibe, but his design is supposed to be based around a cowboy, and besides that, there's not much going on about his design. I do like his bright blue coloring, but he's just the insuperior Bluebear, so we're gonna put him in D tier. Next we have Maple, the adorable normal cub. Her catchphrase is honey, which I think is so sweet. This girl is the cottagecore queen. I see her everywhere on forest core and cottagecore islands. She is just perfect for the natural aesthetic on islands. I do have to say that her design is very simple and a little bland to me, but I still think she's very sweet and cute, so she is going to go in the A tier. Here is Marty, the lazy cub. He is part of the Sanrio collaboration with Animal Crossing, so he can only be obtained by using his amiibo. I do think his overall design is pretty cute. I love his yellow coloration and his beret, but otherwise he isn't very interesting or unique. I think his design is just the baseline of cute. I do dislike the back of his head. When he turns around, he actually has this strange mullet that kind of looks like a stain, so I'm going to put him in B tier. This is Murphy, the cranky cub. His initial phrase is malarkey, which I think is so suiting for his personality. I have to say, I am absolutely in love with his design. The really thick eyebrows and simplified eye design, as well as his bright green coloration, have really caught my eye. And I also love that he's a cranky villager, and the cubs are so small that he's just like this tiny little cranky grandpa. So I'm going to put him up in S tier because he is a personal favorite of mine. Our next cub is Olive. She is a normal villager, and her initial catchphrase is Sweet Pea, which is very cute. I also like the plover dress she has. I think it's a very unique clothing item for villagers, but I do think that her face is just kind of unnerving. I think her eyes, since they don't have any shading whatsoever, look like she's constantly in shock, and her mouth for some reason just looks absolutely enormous on her tiny little head, so I'm going to put her in C tier. This is our sweet girl Peko. She is a normal cub villager. Her name is actually derived from a term used to refer to unopened leaf buds in tea flushes, which I think is absolutely adorable for her character. I love that she has the characteristic pink blush that matches the coloration on her hands as well as her feet. And I love that she has the bun hairstyle that you can also wear as a character. So I'm going to put her up in S tier because I think her design is absolutely spectacular. Here we have Pancho, the jock cub. His initial phrase is low bear. I do like that his head kind of resembles a blueberry. Like the pieces of his hair could be the stem or the green part on the blueberry. I think that's a cute touch to him. But otherwise his design is very simple and boring. Like I don't have a real opinion on him just because his design is pretty basic. So I'm going to put him in B tier. Next is Pudge, the lazy cub. His initial phrase is golly. I think a lot of people are put off by Pudge just because he has such jarring facial features. Like his eyebrows and his squiggly mouth are kind of intimidating at first, but I do like that they have a sort of uniqueness to them in comparison to the rest of the cub villagers. But I don't like the green moldy color on his ears or the bangs that he has, so I'm going to put him in C tier. This is our good boy Stitches. He is a lazy cub, and his initial phrase is stuffin'. His design is based off of a worn children's teddy bear, which I think is a super cool concept. I also love that he has a lot of color blocking going on and that his eyes resemble the stitches on a teddy bear. I overall just think he's such a colorful, bright, interesting villager, so I'm going to put him up in S tier. Here we have Tammy, the sisterly cub. Her name in Hebrew means palm tree, which is really pretty, and it's a reference to the color of her fur. I do really like that her eyeshadow matches the inside of her ear coloration. I do really dislike that the default outfit she comes with doesn't match any of her colors whatsoever. It's a really stark contrast to her yellow fur as well as the pink on her eyeshadow, so I'm going to put her in B tier. The last cub villager for today is Vladimir, who is a cranky cub. His name is a traditional Russian name, and his catchphrase "Niet" is Russian for no, which I think is actually really cool. His design, however, is not so cool. I think his hairline looks like a cracked egg, and I'm not a huge fan of his one tooth sticking out or his forehead wrinkles, so I'm going to put him in D tier. In my previous video, I did pick out my favorite cat villager for you guys, so I'm going to do the same for the cubs. I have to say my favorite one is going to be Stitches. I think his design is just so unique and colorful. He is the absolute perfect kidcore villager. I had him on my first island. He was one of the 5 villagers that had to move in to progress the story, and I kept him forever because I thought he was just such a sweet character to have on the island. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below who your favorite cub villager is. I love to interact with you guys in the comments and see your personal opinions on the villagers in Animal Crossing as well. So I will see you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a great day!